Hey everybody, this is Judson Hurd. So I am interviewing today Jace Vek, Composer Jace Vek, my friend. I've been wanting to have him on for a while. So this is another episode of Slackpreneur. So welcome, Jace.
Cool name, Slackpreneur. I like that.
Yeah, thanks. So how's it going, man? How's California?
Oh man, it's land of good vibes.
Good vibes. I hear that. Yeah. It's we got snow the other day here in Wilmington, which you lived here for a little bit, and
Yeah, that's
it
crazy. Snow
it
and
never yeah, it never snows here. It never snows like on the beach, and my son was super excited. We made like a small snowman. We didn't we didn't have any carrots for like the nose, and like my friend brought me Bojangles. So we used like a Bojangles French fry for the nose. So it's kind of like a redneck snowman kind of thing. It was so fun. But yeah, but anyways, what's up in your world, man?
Ooh, man, that's a loaded question. Actually, man, just traveling the country a lot. I've been back and forth across the United States. I don't even really know how many times in the past, even just this 5 years. So my girlfriend's got a really fantastic career, and the job takes her to different places. Me being able to do whatever I can do from any location. I have my mobile studio with me, and right now the road has taken us to south of San Francisco by about 1 hour in an area called Los Gatos. I'm staying in a relatively small town called Redwood Estates that's right next to Los Gatos. It's up on a mountaintop about 2,000 feet up from that area of California. And it's just, hanging out under redwood trees all day long, man. Neighbors are like, hey, how you doing? Everybody's just so chill here. It's nice.
Yeah, that sounds great. That's awesome. So tell me more, like, what does your girlfriend do?
So she is a estate manager slash lifestyle chief of staff for high net worth individuals. She was started out in the film business doing it. She was actually she's had such a fascinating life. But she worked for Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, for 3 years. Liam Neeson. She's worked for all kinds of great people, some of whom I can't really mention because there's confidentialities there and stuff like that. But
Sure.
wow.
No, I bet she's got like some really interesting stories. I mean, working with The Rock, and
I've heard a few that'll curl your hair.
yeah, I bet it'd be like, probably like, trying to think of the word. It'd be like newsworthy, just tabloid worthy. I was looking for that word, but
yeah, that's all part of the racket. But she takes care of the estates and their personal lives and runs a staff of people who make whatever they want happen. And I've got interesting things. You know what I mean? It's been a wonderful experience, and it's been a wonderful life, and I'm glad we've met. We're extremely happy, and we just live life like an adventure every day. I mean, it's true to say we seem to be moving in this direction that we don't know where we'll be next month. And to me, that is like, I love that. There's a lot of psychological reasons why I like that.
Yeah.
But the living face to face with uncertainty speaks inside in a very direct kind of a way. So.
Right. Well, it's like you have like a digital nomad lifestyle. I love that. Like, because I do, I work from home and stuff, and I could pretty much do whatever I do, composing and piano lessons. I could do that from anywhere. You don't have to be in like one spot. As long as you have internet. Like it's great. It's great. So tell me more. I'm curious. You brought up mobile studio. So tell me more about that. Like for the composers that are watching or out there, like what does that look like?
Yeah. Okay. So I set out a list of, things that I wanted to be able to do. You know what? Maybe I better turn that off.
Oh, it's okay.
No, I apologize.
No worries.
It might go off again. Let me see. Computers tell you too much information that you don't want to know.
I did. I turned off. I did probably one of the best things in a while, and I turned off my Twitter notifications because it's just like in my face all the time, and it's like stuff I don't want to look at all the time, mostly politics and news and and I'm like, man, I wish I could just make it where I would just play like the
Yeah.
tweet notification would be like, hey, check out this free jazz artist, from like back in the day, like I wish it would just do that for a while, because I'd be zen with that, that'd be great. But like,
Sure.
I just it's just for my mental health. I can't deal with it, man. I can't.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I go on, we can talk about that later. I go on social media diets.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So the equipment, yeah, I've got a centralized computer. It's a tower I use. I use a Mac Pro system, and I use 2 or 3 different DAWs depending on what it is I'm working on and what the objective is and all that jazz. And I keep a rotation of microphones and some cameras in case I do want to try to go live again while I'm on the road. Right now, it's been enough just to. You'll hear me refer to this word, the practice, my practice. This is a global terminology I use to describe everything basically I do. The music is part of that, the big part of that, of course, right now, being an artist. But however, I've got a main keyboard I use as a controller, and I use headphones a lot. I also, when I'm going to be in an area for longer than a week to 2 weeks, I may set up studio monitors. I've got a nice set of S8s that I use that are really great. And they're really great because they've got a giant sweet spot. So, if I'm going to be in a place longer, I have different protocols I use. If I'm going to be in a place longer for a month, then I'll treat the room lightly. It's just a lot of different variables that go into it. But
Sure,
basically, the most important part is to be able to show up every day and create music every day.
Right.
And keep everything moving.
Right.
Moving. Doesn't have to necessarily be forward or whatever, just moving.
Right. Yeah. Keep creating. I love it.
Yeah.
So what are you working on right now? Like any like projects or new Jace Vek music? I know you released like a Bandcamp a while ago. I can't think of the title off the top of my head, but it was super good. And yeah, feel free to share your links on Twitch.
Well, if you just if you Google search Jace Vek, first thing you're going to probably find is my Bandcamp and stuff like that. It's the easiest way to do it. Bandcamp/Jace Vek, I do believe, will take you there.
Right.
I have so many songs right now in creation that it's like I don't know, man. I didn't even realize it was possible to be able to work like this. It's kind of like sometimes I'm taken aback by it. I don't know if you can share a screen or not, but I could show you my listing of track production right now. And just in ideas alone, I've got so many. It's on a border of crazy.
I can share a screen. I don't know.
That's all right. You don't have to worry about it. It's something new. I mean, I think we're cool. Anyways, just to sum it up for you, I have the ideas which come in a form that I call splurges, and then I have drafts, and I have discoveries, and then once I make a determination that I'm actually going to release and put out a track, that moves into a category I call done, which done means the decision to make the release has been made.
Right.
And that's it. And it's really great how much traveling around has fueled a different way of thinking inside of me and a different way of approaching how I deal with obstacles and stuff. And it's all right there inside of the music. The music that I create, man, is very random.
Right.
As random as coming out of instrumental music, new age music was the only house we had.
Right.
You know what I mean? New age, they lumped you into that music, and
I'm
all cool with new age music. There's a lot of new age artists I love and stuff like that, and contemporary instrumentalists and stuff. But quickly from there, it transcends to jazz and film music and those kinds of things. So I think the world at large is still deciding what this new world is that we have,
right.
where you can basically discover new music that is so weird and so wild and so,
Yeah.
it's cool. So I'm just feeding the flame.
Yeah, I remember when you lived in Carolina Beach, close to me. You came out to Tatsuya Nakatani, the percussionist, and I would definitely very talented performer, but definitely qualify his music as weird, or
Experimental.
outside experimental, outside the box. He's experimenting with sound, and doing, and it's just you definitely were like very open to that, which I kind of have to be careful who I invite people to, because
Right. Well, sure.
I've invited some people. I'm like, hey, like this trumpet player is going to come, and they're expecting like Herb Albert or something, and it's like he's taking his trumpet apart and like getting all these weird noises and stuff, and it just made them mad. And I'm like, well, you should know me by now. I'm into that kind of stuff. But
yeah, I mean, I think it speaks to the mindset of really music, how one person can go to an experience and think like, some kind of earth-changing situation. Another person can go to a musical experience and be leaving 25 minutes early because it's the stupidest thing they ever saw in their life. And that's really, I mean, I know those are kind of harsh terms, but let's face it, we know what we love, and we know
yeah. And, that's cool.
Everything I do and everything I create is only 50% of the story, and I'm okay to have my take on what that is. But once I put it out there and into the world where it goes, the other 50% of that, which is the experience, is the mind of the other person. If they see something beautiful, or they hear something beautiful, or they hear something that is not this or not that, or whatever. So it's more of a reflection of their personal tastes, ambitions, experiences.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. And like every now and then, like I like Herb Albert. I'll put a record on or something, but that's not all I listen to. It's like I feel like some people, it's like it's like chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets are good, but if that's all you eat or consume, then there's so much other like palette of food out there, that you can try and stuff. And it doesn't mean you'll like it all, but there's just so much more out there than like what you hear on a FM, corporate owned radio station. Not saying it's bad or anything, but so
nobody controls what gets to your ears anymore. And I know there's some cynics that will literally scream when I say something like that. But really, you go looking, you'll find it's the act of looking that causes the find.
Right. That, I like that. Yeah.
You get stuff rammed at you. Yes. When you go on the, we all know how this works. Okay. There's no, there's no hidden, and sidestepping all of the gobbledygook conspiracies and everything out there that even pervade the music business or whatever else. I think ultimately, you have the power as a receiver of music to go like this. No, thank you. Over there and say, yes, more of you, and people have more of that than they realize.
Yeah. So I guess we should talk about the elephant in the room. I wanted to bring this up with you. So what are your thoughts on, I'm just curious on, and you probably know what I'm going to ask, but you're
Spotify, right?
Yeah. What are your thoughts about Spotify, man? And Nell Young and Joni Mitchell, and even if we don't agree, that's okay. I just want to like get a discussion going. I respect that.
That's all cool, man.
Yeah.
Hey, there's multiple ways to look at things, and one is as an artist, and one is as a receiver. A lover of music or different things like this, and I kind of personally, my personal take on things right now as it affects my work is I'm moving in a direction that I don't even think about Spotify. I think I had like 2 listeners on there last month. I don't know. And a lot of it has to do with the fact of, what is this platform and its viewers or whatever else, or listeners, excuse me, what are we all doing together? And
Right.
I don't even say these things, and I really don't have the answer to that. Of course, I'm probably thinking a little bit too much because I'm trying to give you some conversation here. But however, as it applies to the Spotify thing, I think it's more a reflection of our time in this day and age, the fierce opinions that are firing back and forth between.
Right.
Now, of course, we've got this Joe Rogan camp, and we've got the Neil Young camp, and the camps are growing now. Some people, Neil Rogan's side is saying, we know what they're saying. And then the a side that's on Joni Mitchell and Neil Young's side and all these things are saying things back and whatever else. And I think really, it gets to the point where it just gets mind numbing for me after a while.
I would agree with that. I know I'm younger, but I mean, I love the music. I grew up listening to Neil Young and Joni Mitchell, and I love their music. And then Joe Rogan, personally, for me, I remember Fear Factor. He was on that, seeing that, and also, he will interview some like funny comedians that I like, because I love stand-up comedy, so I watch that. Personally, this is just personal taste. I don't listen to a show on like a regular basis. If it's somebody that I like Doug Stanhope or a comedian or something, I'll check out the link or something. But the podcasts I listen to, and I do listen to podcasts on Spotify because I like having all my stuff in like one place. But I do, I mostly listen to like true crime kind of stuff, so like true crime or like things like that, not. So Joe Rogan's really just not in my taste, personally. But yeah, I definitely respect Neil Young, for what he's doing. I think he definitely, it's kind of offensive to me, or not offensive, but just kind of like, it kind of like strikes me as kind of like ignorant when people are like telling me, oh, you should take your music off Spotify or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I'm an indie artist. Like, I'm not a millionaire like, Neil Young, and like a lot of my income comes from Spotify, royalties, part of it, it's just a piece in the pie, and while I respect, what Neil Young's doing and stuff, and on the other hand, Spotify is not perfect platform either. They could always pay better and stuff, but I mean, that's any corporation, that's any corporation, and stuff. And, at the end of the day, Spotify's given me like a lot of opportunity to like reach people and to get paid and stuff that I couldn't before, that only if you were on a major label, you would only have that access, and so I think it's kind of leveled out the playing field, leveled out the playing field. I can't talk today, but the problem now probably is just like there's an oversaturation of music, which I think people are pretty good at like weeding out, what they want to hear and listen to and stuff like that. So
are they? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, you can find like what you want to listen to. I mean, I hang out, and I love like I hang out on SoundCloud. SoundCloud doesn't have everything, but there's so much like cool stuff you can find, on SoundCloud that's just not on not anywhere else. And for example, I found I work in sync, sync music, and somebody needed like Russian rap music, and I was like, okay, so I found and like collaborate, with somebody like a Russian rapper, I met on SoundCloud. We talked and there's a huge time difference, so we're like talking different times, the day and stuff. But I mean, I started discovering some like interesting like music from Russia, which and then by me doing that, of course, I want to learn more about the culture and some different things and stuff like that. So it's just like, I love like the big world of it, but yeah, there's definitely like a lot of garbage out there too. Not,
No, I think the thing is with, that my takeaway from the whole thing is that there's this argument taking place here. And I only say this because I saw it on social media,
right,
seem to be the headlines of the battle is that,
right,
some people are deciding relevance for other people. Like, the people who are
right,
saying this are going to decide that the other people are not relevant. Well, they were a hit
right,
years ago. It's not relevant now. And that is
right,
just, that is thinking that is sort of straight from the heart of ego. And
right, right,
I think any artist that is made their bones or knows why they're here or what they're doing, when they see even supporters
right,
coming with their swords charging and screaming at the other person, calling them irrelevant, they just kind of go,
right.
you know what I mean? It's just not,
Yeah,
it's not why I'm here to pour my relevance all over somebody's
right.
and whatever. I don't know what the hell.
Yeah. Yeah, and and another question I would ask, well, what does that mean? What does irrelevance mean? Does that mean, you're not on a reality TV show with like celebrities, like, like I don't,
By definition, you're
like
as relevant as
right.
in the eyes that are perceiving anything you're doing or saying.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, so you are simultaneously both relevant and irrelevant in this
right,
universe at the same time. And just the law
right,
of numbers and mathematics says that the probability of you being more irrelevant than relevant, if
right,
is the measure by which you gauge relevance,
right, right,
then you and I are the kings of irrelevance, and so is
right.
everyone else on this planet. Oh no,
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
People who have millions of followers are more relevant.
Right. Right.
Is that right? I don't know. Is
Yeah. Right, right.
it?
Is that exactly. So so what I want to talk more like we got a few more minutes, but I want to talk more about your music like composing career and stuff. So when did you get started? Like what were some projects that I know you've won I think an Emmy or some Emmys I think, talk more about that.
Oh well, I think those were just I've won a couple of them and been nominated for a fistful of other ones. I think it spoke to the projects that I was on and was working with a really good director at the time and still do. As a matter of fact, he and I have a great relationship. And I'm grateful for that. And, I was just got a phone call one day from somebody who wanted to try to help agency my career and stuff like that and introduced me to this fella. And that was the one good thing that came out of that. So he and I have done probably 40 or 50 projects since then. These are all short range projects. And it's not, look, these awards are not a very big deal specifically, because there's regions of Emmy awards, there's daytime Emmy awards, there's nighttime,
Right,
60-second, 90-second, wow, or there's
right,
best this, best that, best this, best that. They come up with, 1,000 different reasons to hand you a piece of metal. And I think the
right,
real award in this life is being able to live and maintain
right, right.
a lifestyle as a creative, you know what I mean? And I'm not just, I'm not trying to play humble pie here. I mean, I'm
Right,
serious.
right.
Serious
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. For me, I started creating music when I was like 4 years old, I guess, to hear my parents say it. They acquired an upright piano from a church that was leaving town and it said free to a good home. And they went and grabbed that piano and they put it in the garage of the house we were staying in. It was a cold part of Pennsylvania, so they had to heat the garage with a kerosene heater and ventilate it and all these other things. So I would sit out in the garage and play the piano. You have to imagine this was, I'm coming up on 50 years old. Yeah, I've been doing this for a minute. Coming up on 50 years old. So this was probably like 1978,
Oh
5.
wow, yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
there wasn't Nintendo and these kinds of things. So it was my form of entertainment. But
Right, right.
as sometimes happens, I was, gifted with the ability to play just about anything that I heard. And I would take melodies and improvise on them and stuff like that. Cut to the chase. Some many years later, two things happened in my life which were very memorable. I was about 17 at the time, and a billionaire that owned a very large company called 84 Lumber built a magnificent resort near the house where I was growing up in Pennsylvania. It's a place called Uniontown, Pennsylvania. And he had ribbon cutting day. But we had renovated this property, spent hundreds of millions of dollars on it and all this other stuff.
Right, right.
Place is called Nemacolin Woodlands Resort and Spa. And he had a piano there. My dad said, go over there and play that piano. Well, the next thing I knew, the billionaire was standing in back of me, laughing his head off, saying, hey, kid, what do we got to do to get you to come up here and play all the time?
Oh, right. Okay.
Next thing you know, I was playing 5 days a week for afternoon tea with Jace, and this became a thing.
Right.
I released my first albums, started making my film friends at that time. So yeah, man, it's been a wonderful journey of just following whatever wave. I mean, let me give you an example of just how random this could be.
Sure. Yeah.
3 weeks ago, I was sitting in a hotel in Saratoga. Now, granted, I have my equipment set up in a hotel room, my mobile rig, which is, not too unimpressive to look at, especially when it's in a hotel room. Got this down to a science how to set this stuff up real fast. It's got you can imagine what it probably looks like sitting next to a window in a hotel room and in the room. I'm down at the bar having a cup of coffee, talking with the barista. And this gentleman overhears a conversation next to me, sits down next to me, and we break into a conversation together. The subject of our work comes up. It turns out he's a filmmaker.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, I said, really? And he's looking for music. And I said, gotta be kidding me, right? What are the odds? So 15 minutes later, I'm signing a non-disclosure agreement, and he's sending me footage to the room so I can demo to him what I could do.
Cool. Wow.
And, here we are now. He's sending a contract over, and I'm going to be doing music for a series based out of Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
So it's nice work to have. But
that's awesome.
Look, you don't know where the road goes around the bend. And we've got an entire system in place to try to teach us that we could figure that out. And it's just such a waste of time. If I could give any advice to anybody about what to do, how to get into it, I just got a message today on Facebook from a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Well, I consider all the people on my Facebook, friends of a degree.
Right. Sure.
Depends on what happens.
Yeah.
This one a little bit more so because it goes all the way back to childhood. And
right.
My daughter's into music. She wants some advice, So I'm going to answer this question to you the same way I would answer this question to her or anyone else.
Right.
You want to be keenly aware of what you are doing, what to do next.
Right.
Because success to me, and I've had a lot of help with this. I work with coaches. Success to me is knowing what to do, but also knowing what to do next.
Right.
Because what you're doing right now shapes that next move. And if you can see that, then you're linking the two of them together in some way that probably makes sense. And oftentimes it goes like this.
Right.
And you miss it by a little bit. So when next comes along, you recalibrate it until you get it lined up with what it is you're trying to do.
Yeah.
People want to plan this career, and they want to think 5-6 steps down the road. Well, what am I going to do after I move to California, and after I do this, and after I do that?
Right.
No, you need to know what you're doing right now,
right?
And what you're doing next, and do it in rapid succession, faster. That's. I know that seems a little overly simplified, but man, it is.
Really that's really probably the best advice I've heard in a while. That's something for me to I'll be reflecting on that today as I go pick up my son from school and stuff. So, well, awesome, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for chatting today. I gotta get you on, later on, we'll definitely do this again. And, thanks so much. And I'll be sure to, post your links, your social media links and stuff like that as well. And thanks so much for hanging out.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate anyone that sees this. And I would just close out by saying that, if I may, real quickly here, I haven't released music for a while, and there's a story there. And I'm getting ready now to let go of all these tracks, and the style has changed dramatically. So it's a fusion of electronic, symphonic, always instrumental to the biggest degree. I've working with some incredible players, and the music is a lot of fun. It's very visual. It's very visceral. And I wish everybody the best. If you'd like to follow my Facebook page, come over there, because I'm going to be sending out messages on there about where you can go to see my new releases. And I think
Awesome.
I appreciate this opportunity. Good luck to
All
you.
right. You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.